Paris Saint Germain tied Mauricio Pochettino to a 2-year contract as their manager earlier this month. The 48-year-old was brought in to help the club win their first ever Champions League title and convince star players like Neymar and Kylian Mbappe to extend their stay at Parc des Princes. Pochettino has some history with the club from the French capital, where he played at the centre of the defence between 2001 and 2003. The 48-year-old Argentine international made a total of 95 appearances for Les Parisiens and scored 6 goals. The former Southampton manager, who got fired by Tottenham Hotspur just a few months after guiding the North London club to the Champions League final against Liverpool, has signed a contract until June 2022 with an option for an extra year. Pochettino accepted the challenge to turn things around at the French outfit after the departure of Thomas Tuchel. The German coach led PSG to win back-to-back league titles since joining as their manager in 2018. However, the Qatari owners have set their sights on European success. They want to be a successful global brand, and in order for that to happen, they have to win the Champions League. The owners are craving for European glory, having already earned the reputation as big spenders over the years, just like Man City. The Parisians got the attention from around the world by spending big on players such as Neymar, Mbappé, Angel Di Maria, Mauro Icardi, Lucas Moura, David Luiz, Javier Pastore, Edinson Cavani and Thiago Silva. However, to date, apart from dominating the French football circuit, the cash-laden Ligue 1 champions have not convinced in Europe. This remains the only blemish on the club's ownership, who clearly want to set the record straight. So, one of the main goals for Pochettino is to tame the locker room and control main stars such as Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. Pochettino may have to learn to deal with these match-winning players who want to be treated differently. As a coach, he had to manage Espanyol's greatest legend, Raúl Tamudo, so there shouldn't be any problem with respect to managing star players, as he is aware of the fact that every player needs some attention and different treatment. After signing his contract, Pochettino didn't waste any time to send a message across to his team during his first interview, and he made it very clear that all his players will have to play like a team and respect each other. This is a big club where it's not just important to win, it's about winning but with style. Discipline and respect are the most important, friendship too, not only for the players or the staff, but also for the people who work at the club, be it in the training facility or at the stadium. We are here to help the club and the players to achieve what they want, which is to say, to win trophies. We want to put in place a mentality, a game philosophy, and that everyone adheres to it, warns the new coach of Paris Saint Germain. Having played for the Parisian club, Pochettino has a particular attachment to the club that he could pass on to his players. The Argentinian tactician also has a clear idea of the game, and most Parisian players have a mentality that fits in well with Pochettino's style of play. Eager to establish a real playing identity at PSG, Pochettino measured the scale of the task before taking the coaching role at Parc des Princes. But the real question is whether Neymar and Mbappe, the two Parisian forwards, aged 28 and 22 respectively, are also going to be receptive to his methods. It is true that Pochettino never had a chance to work with players like Mbappe or Neymar in his career before, but he managed to bring the most out of England's number 9 Harry Kane and has never fallen out with any player during his managerial career. He highlighted that he'd coached some decent players in the past, especially at Tottenham. A way for him to answer the questions that may exist about his ability to manage star players like Neymar and Mbappe would be to look at how he's already dealt with big-name players like Kane and Christian Eriksen. I am aware of what PSG represents and the type of players we have in this club. We have worked with high-level footballers in the past, of course. It's a big challenge to be here in Paris. Knowing the potential of this team, it's a challenge. In other words, he meant to say that the stars will not rule the locker room and everyone will have to remember their role and the importance of having exemplary behaviour. The Parisians are in the process of renewing the contracts of Neymar and Mbappe, who they signed from Barcelona and Monaco for 222 million and 80 million euros respectively. Both players signed a contract with the French outfit until summer 2022. Reports in the media suggest that both men will put pen to paper only if PSG manage to further improve their squad during the next transfer window. The task for the owners of PSG to stop Mbappe from joining another club in the summer is difficult, since they know that the French international has only 1 year left on his contract. The 22-year-old French striker doesn't want to stay in Paris, and this is what further complicates the task for the Qatari leaders, even if the latter promises a staggering salary to the 2018 world champion. The problem is that until or unless PSG don't start dominating European football, The likes of Mbappe and Neymar would always consider their options and make a move to a club where they might have a better chance of lifting the Champions League trophy. PSG owners even assured the club's new coach Pochettino that Mbappe will not leave Paris, but the young attacker is certainly not pleased with Tuchel's dismissal. The French international paid tribute to the former Borussia Dortmund man on social media soon after he was shown the door. Unfortunately, it's the law of football that no one will forget your time here, the World Cup winner posted on Instagram. "You wrote a great line of the club's history and I say thank you, coach," he added. The Parisians have made an initial offer to Mbappe, but the young French forward has not agreed to the proposal. It remains to be seen whether this is a negotiating strategy adopted by Mbappe or a real desire to leave the French club for good. The demand from both players is clear: to build a team that is capable of winning the Champions League, and they understand that the only way to achieve this task is to build a highly competitive team. Certain reports in media suggest that PSG are in contact with Barcelona and Real Madrid to sign Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos. Both players have not extended contracts with their respective clubs and will be free agents in the summer. And while the club is trying to lure Messi and Ramos to Parc des Princes, the coach has shared the names of some other potential transfer targets with sporting director Leonardo. Pochettino wants the club to sign Sergio Aguero, Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli. Now is not the time to talk about transfer rumours. We're trying to build a relationship with sporting director Leonardo. In general, it's very difficult to make a transfer now, Pochettino reflected on transfer rumours. How will Neymar and Mbappe be used by the new PSG coach is another question many people are asking, and this is what Pochettino had to say. Great players can play in several positions, but for Pochettino, Mbappe's role may change during the match. Maybe he starts at one position but then moves to another depending on the situation. The most important thing is how he behaves in spaces and how he uses his qualities. We have to put him in the best position so that he exploits his potential. When Neymar starts, we'll see his best position. We don't like to talk about systems. This is the case for Neymar and for all the players, to find out where the players will be the best to help the team. The more leaders we have on the field, the better. Overhauling the medical department is another important issue that the Argentine will have to address. His predecessor had his training methods often criticised because of the sequences of injuries that occurred during the season. The club was unable to use Neymar properly and regularly due to constant injury problems. He's expected to make a comeback in January after suffering an ankle injury against Olympique Lyonnais in December. The Brazilian attacker remained on the treatment table much of the last season with adductor, hamstring, ruptured ankle ligament and other fitness problems. A lot of people say that PSG is a team with a lot of individual talent, but from the second leg against Borussia Dortmund to the Champions League final, we saw a complete team with players fighting for one another. If they did it once, they can do it again. They just need a culture to be created. This is the main task of the manager. And Pochettino is someone who has a clear idea of what he's doing and a fantastic ability to connect with his players. He's passionate about what he does and very good at communicating. It is as we see it, which is not always the case in football. By having real support from the club ownership and senior leadership, Pochettino could undeniably stamp his authority on these players. The coach wants everyone to fight for each other in every game without being complacent or simply thinking about their own stats. Therefore, a lot of work needs to be done so that the players understand that to stay at PSG, it is not enough to have a certain status, but simply a mentality that corresponds with what the coach asks for. And Pochettino has the passion and the mentality to convince this group to work together as a group and find the same atmosphere which allowed PSG to succeed last season. Moreover, if he's able to really get the best out of his two best players, Neymar and Mbappe, then the club's ownership might not even have to worry about giving the two men any more reason to not extend their stay at the club.